Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a storytime video. I seriously never thought I would be doing a storytime video just because there's not a lot of stories that I need to tell you guys, to be honest. But the story that I'm going to tell you though is going to really help a lot of people out because a lot of people are getting scammed every single day. And you know what? I was so close to being that person as well, and it really sucks ass. The day I mentioned it on my Snapchat, which was about 2 months ago, a lot of people were telling me their stories, and it's like, it's crazy. People literally will fall for it just like I did, and it sucks, but they really get you on the phone. So I want to tell you guys my story and just be careful who you give your information out to. So this happened about 2 months ago. I snapped about it. If you don't follow me on Snapchat, it is Mytouchofglam. I mentioned a little bit of it that day. I didn't want to mention like completely everything because already I felt like it was a little bit too personal because there were pretty much supposedly the IRS calling about my taxes, and that stuff is like kind of personal. So I was like, do I really want to talk about this to everyone? At that moment, I just kind of told them that I almost got scammed, and everybody was like, I want to hear the rest. Please do a storytime video. So here I am. So how do I get started? I've never really done a storytime video. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, whatever. So it all started like one morning. It was about 1 in the afternoon where I woke up from my bed and then I went upstairs to my mom's room. I always like to take naps in her room. I don't know why. So this morning, or I guess like afternoon, I wake up from a nap in my mom's room. I have like so many voicemails, okay? And I'm gonna try to find the voicemail of this person. When I started hearing these voicemails, I was freaking out. I was like, what? Before I get started with a story, let me explain to y'all about my taxes. So I had not yet at the moment paid my taxes. I have an accountant? I can't even say it right. I have an accountant who helped me out through the process, but at the moment I hadn't paid them yet. So I was low-key freaking out. I even called my accountant. He didn't pick up at the moment, but I even called him like, what the hell is going on? At first, I thought my accountant was fooling me. I was like, wait, so what is he here for? Because the freaking IRS is calling me. So I was freaking out. I believe the IRS. Woo! Alright, holy crap. I actually found the voicemail. I did not think I was going to find it. Okay. Supposedly, it's an officer from the IRS.
Hi, this is Officer Ryan Smith calling you from IRS, that is Internal Revenue Service. The reason why we are trying to get in touch with you is just to notify you that there is a tax fraud suspected in your tax papers, which need to be rectified immediately. So I need you to call me back, and if you are not giving me a call back, I need your lawyer to call me back as soon as possible on my direct number, that is 1-844-272-9488. I'll repeat, 1-844-272-9488.
Y'all better save that. It's ridiculous because he was saying if I had a lawyer to call him. It's like so bullshit. If you actually search this number up, a lot of people will ask like on Google about this number that they're calling for different things, not just from supposedly the IRS. There's a tax fraud suspected in my tax papers. I honestly didn't hear the voicemail correctly that day. I just kind of freaked the hell out and called him back. So what he was telling me on the phone is basically that I had not paid my taxes. Because when I called, I was like, hi, you know, I got a missed call from you. What's going on? And this guy basically is telling me on the phone, I am an officer. You will be getting arrested because you did not pay your taxes. All I could think about was, I'm so fucked. I'm going to jail. I am like on the phone. First of all, he has like a very strong accent. So I couldn't really understand what he was saying. Like I could just hear that I didn't pay my taxes and I was getting arrested. I barely woke up, okay? And I'm over here like all stupid on the phone like, what is going on? Like I literally woke up to hell and I'm trying to understand what he's saying, but I can't understand. I was already freaking out. So my mind was just everywhere. So I'm still on the phone while he's talking to me. I'm like upstairs trying to look for my mom because whenever I have a problem, like I just go directly to my parents. Like they know how to calm me down. So I'm on the phone and I run to my brother's room. I'm like, where is my mom? And my brother could just see my face like really terrified. My brother is looking at me like if I'm about to tell him somebody passed away. I was like, I'm getting arrested. He was like, what? Like he started freaking out. And then I hang up because the guy told me to call him back. I called this guy back like 5 times. We really could not communicate through the phone. It was really hard to understand him. He couldn't understand me. So he would just tell me to calm back. So I hung up the phone and I'm explaining to my brother, like, I'm getting arrested. And I was trying to keep real calm because my little brother and sister were there. And they just start crying. And this is, oh, it gets me so mad because like my whole family fell for it. And I feel so bad. I'm just so terrified at this moment. I really thought I was getting arrested. Like, I'm so stupid to believe it. But I truly thought I was. And then I go look for Karina. So when Karina got out the restroom, I was like, please give me the accountant's phone number. Because Karina has the guy's phone number. So I could call him and tell him like, what's going on? Why is RS calling me when you're the one helping me out with my taxes? So I call this guy, he doesn't pick up. So I'm freaking out even more. I'm like, oh, plot twist, this account is not even real. Okay, so this was the part where I cannot believe I fell for it. So I was coming downstairs to call him again because obviously I had to call him back. I was so scared. So I was like, damn, I can't just ignore the IRS. Like, they're really gonna arrest me right now. So I call him back. He told me, he's like, so Myra, listen to me. Are you alone? I was like, no, I'm actually with my family. He was like, I want you to go to your room alone and I'm gonna ask you a few questions. I was like, what? I truly felt so uncomfortable. Telling him on the phone, I'm like, why do you want me to be alone? He's like, well, Myra, you're getting arrested and I just want to ask you a few questions and I don't want your family to hear. So in my head, I'm thinking like, holy crap, okay, I'm gonna get arrested in a couple minutes. So he basically wants me to be alone and kind of tell me like, okay, listen up. This is what's going to happen. I don't want your family to hear this. That's how I thought of it. I'm like, maybe he's right. Maybe he shouldn't be telling me that I'm getting arrested in front of them. I can't even believe I was thinking that. Like, I truly thought he is pulling me aside because he doesn't want my family to hear all these bad news. So here I am like a stupid ass going to my room and he's like asking me information. Like, he's like, well, what's your zip code? The whole time I was thinking he was asking for my address so he could send out cops to arrest me. So when he started asking me for my zip code, I kind of freaked out. I was telling him the first numbers, but I was like, no, I don't want to give it to you. I don't feel comfortable. But it's funny because I think he was asking for my zip code to get into my account. But the whole time I was thinking he was asking me for my entire address so he could send out cops. So on the phone, I told him, I don't feel comfortable giving it to you. In my head, I was thinking like, I'm not going to give him my address. They're not going to come and arrest me right now. That's what I thought. I was seriously trying to basically get away from the cops. When somebody truly arrests you, obviously they have like all your information to arrest you. But I was thinking like, I'm not going to give him my address so he can't arrest me. I know, it's like so stupid of me to think that, but I was like giving the first few numbers. That's all I gave him, and I told him I don't feel comfortable giving you my information. I should have known from the start when he told me go to a private room. That should have been like ding ding ding, something is freaking wrong. Oh god, I fell for it so hard, but I didn't give him my full information, thank god. He told me, he's like, listen Myra, just relax. I know you're a little bit scared right now. Just call me back in 5 minutes. Like, so I'm like, okay, bye. I hung up and I was like truly in my head thinking like, how, like, what do I do? I'm trying to escape from the cops right now. I was thinking like, I need to figure out how to leave from here. And then my mom finally gets home and I go to her and I didn't want to show that I was scared to her because I didn't want to scare her. But I am such a crybaby, and at that moment, I was so freaked out. I felt helpless. I go to her and I tell her like, ma, me van a arrestar. Like, I was just crying to her. She was so lost, dude. She's like, what are you talking about? She was like low-key freaking out, but she was telling me, she's like, no, it's impossible. The IRS doesn't call you. They will send you letters. You'll first go to court and it's a process. Like, they can't just arrest you like that. She was just freaking out, but tried to tell me like, it can't be. It just can't be. Like, how is that possible? We're actually right here in my room, all of us, and my mom is calling my dad. My dad did not fall for it. He was like, the IRS does not call you and all that. My mom was just telling me like, but you didn't get any letters. At the moment, I wasn't really hearing what she was telling me because I was like, no, well, if the IRS is calling me, telling me that they're gonna arrest me, why aren't you believing it? So I ended up calling Brian and he's at work, okay? I call him and I'm trying to keep calm on the phone. And as soon as he picks up, I'm like, Brian, I'm getting arrested. And like, you know when you're like sobbing, like people can't really understand you. So I'm trying to explain to him like, Brian, I'm getting arrested, but I was like sobbing. I'm telling him like, I didn't pay my taxes. He's like, oh, Myra, like, why didn't you? But I'm trying to explain to him like, Brian, but this is why me and Karina have our accountant. Like, he's helping us out with that. Like, what the hell is going on? The whole time I was so confused, you guys. If you had your accountant, right, he's helping you out with your taxes, and then you get a call from the IRS, you don't even know who to believe. You're like, wait, someone's playing me, right? I pretty much made it clear, look, Brian, I am getting arrested. I love you. I was so dramatic. So funny now, but dude, at that moment I was like, F my life, literally. I was like, that is it. I'm so innocent. This is so unfair. Brian actually ends up leaving work. I guess he was so freaked out. So Karina ends up telling me that our accountant actually, because my sister was also blowing up his phone. He ends up texting back my sister like, oh, it's a scam. Don't believe it. Like right away. I was like, it's a scam? I was like, but how does he know it's a scam? And my accountant is telling me like, no, the IRS will never call you. This is false. This is why I'm here to help you. And I'm just like, oh, hell no. I was so angry because at this point my whole family was crying, okay? It wasn't even about them scamming me anymore. And just seeing everybody crying hurt me. So at that moment I'm like, oh, is it a fucking scam? Okay. Then my mom gets a call from my dad. My dad actually talks to somebody else. My dad was explaining to my mom that he already had seen in the news of people getting scammed that way. So here I am sitting down. I figured it was a scam and I was so angry at this point. But I think what hurt me the most was seeing my entire family like freaking out, okay? Not only was I crying, but like seeing my little brothers and sisters cry. My mom was like truly freaking out. She wasn't crying, but I could see it in her face. She was freaking out. So it obviously hurt me seeing them like that. So when I heard it was a scam, I got so mad. So I'm calling this guy back, right? I just wanted to call him to just tell him, you know, you're not gonna make me stupid. You're here trying to scam me. F you. Like, I just wanted to tell him off. So I'm calling him and the first few calls, like, I sound angry and he would just hang up. I was like, hello? Like, this is Myra. Like, I made it obvious I was very angry. I was like, okay, I need to relax. Like, I need to call back, like, really calm, you know? I was like, hi, this is Myra. You called me. He's like, oh, hi. Like, all professional, right? Like, you know when you're so angry and you're just, like, going off and then you're later on like, what did I say? That's basically what happened. I was just telling him, like, and I'm so glad I was actually able to call him and tell him off. So I basically called him and told him, this is all BS. You are here to scam me. I'm not going to fall for it. F you and all this crap. You guys are not going to believe what he told me. He was like, so? Ooh, girl, I lost it when he said that. He had the balls to be like, so? At that moment, I was like, hell broke loose. I had no idea what I was telling him on the phone. I basically cussed him the hell out and I hung up. And then my sister, when I told him, I'm like, guess what he told me? He was like, so. And Karina's crazy. She flipped out. She's like, oh, hell no. Give me the phone number. Give it to me right now. Karina got the phone number. She called. She was smart about it. She called, like, you know, very calm. And she told him off, like, how freaking dare you? Like, she just went off and this guy did not know what to say. This guy completely contradicted himself. At first he was like, so what if I'm trying to scam you? Karina's like threatening him, like, I'm gonna call the cops on you. How dare you? He was like, I'll see you in court. Like, basically trying to scare us. Like, whatever, I'll see you in court. Don't you worry. Karina was basically like, you're a piece of shit. How dare you? And we hung up on him and that was it. The whole day, I don't think I had snapped that day till like later on at night. It truly ruined my whole day, okay? You know when you get bad news and everything's okay, but you still feel down about it? And obviously when I snapped about it, a lot of you guys were telling me your stories, how you got scammed. And I just felt so bad. And I just can't believe people actually have the balls to do things like this. It is so sad. It's like, how dare you do that? So throughout the day, I just tried to go out and like distract myself, but I really couldn't. And then my mom, like, I felt really bad because like, she pretty much got scared too. She could have gotten sick, you know, like people when they hear bad news, they get sick. And my mom is definitely that kind of person that probably would have gotten sick. You know what I mean? I will never forget that day. I laugh about it now. I think it's funny how I actually fell for it and I really thought I was getting arrested. But at that moment, I was seriously sobbing, freaking out. In fact, I was like, I'm gonna miss my brother's wedding. I'm gonna miss a lot of things. Like, I'm engaged. I'm not even gonna enjoy my engagement. I don't know when I'm getting out of jail. Like, all that was going through my head. And I know these people are still calling others and scamming people. And I just wanted to do this story to, you know, like really help a lot of you guys out. If you want to share this video to your friends and family, go ahead and do so, because I think it's so unfair that a lot of these people are actually getting away with it. And it's sad because a lot of us fall for it. They sound very professional on their phone. If you actually search up this number, a lot of people say they get calls for many different reasons. It's not just like the IRS calling. They call you for different things. They will call you like from different companies. It's not necessarily the IRS. So even if it's not the IRS calling you, like do your research on this phone number. Tell them you'll call them back and search the phone number up and see what it's really all about. That's something that I did not do. Before you give out your information, Google the number, because there's a lot of things you could find out by just Googling a number. But I am so glad I was not scammed. I didn't give out my full information because I just didn't feel comfortable. But yeah, that is my story time for you guys. I really hope it was helpful, because seriously, this could really prevent from a lot of you guys getting scammed. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this story time, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.